been pulled aside here, and we're waiting for them to authorize us to go in with this flag. So they said the small ones are okay, but the big ones aren't. Now, I'm not, again, I'm not a big nationalist. I'm really not. I'm patriotic from the standpoint of like what the Constitution represents for our freedom of religion and expression. But that seems a little, I guess, extreme to go, to not be able to go into Arlington Cemetery with a symbol of our nation's heritage. It's strange.
I have no idea, because we asked a question about a flag.
Maybe because the flag's covering the cars.
That's all right. Well, they asked us to park here, officer. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to fight it. Well, again, gentlemen, as I just told him, I'm running it because I don't know who I'm dealing with. I got 4 people here.
Of course.
I get you. A moment ago, I was by myself. we got
Yeah.
whom I spoke with. And
Sure.
when.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's good. For any case.
That's good. Right.
We're just trying
Understood.
to get clarification if we can get inside Arlington.
Right. So Arlington has a policy about flags.
That's correct.
They're only a certain,
They have a policy on flags, the width, the size, but also they just don't allow flags of any kind.
Right.
So they don't allow any flag, and that would.
I guess you let one flag in, we gotta let them all in.
Right.
Yeah.
What's
That
something
makes
next
sense.
person from bringing a flag with cuss words or something else on there?
Sure.
I don't think any of this is cuss words.
It's just a little bit ironic. Look, I'm not like amongst these guys. I'm the token liberal. Like, you know, I'm the token liberal, and I'm just like, even I could think through this one and be like, this is Arlington Cemetery. These people died for the country. I'm sure that from that standpoint, it's a nonsensical policy. But I understand that a policy is
one flag, all flags.
And just so you know, I'm retired military too.
Absolutely enter the cemetery.
Respect.
You know, first responders is all the same.
Understood. Yeah.
So that makes total sense, and that's all. I just asked the question, like, why can't
Thank
we
you for
not
coming to clarify.
They could have done that a long time ago.
I apologize that wasn't done.
They didn't. I asked him, and he walked away. And then you guys show up.
So let me get some clarity on where you can leave your vehicles, and then you guys can enter. Okay.
Can I ask you a question? I might as well ask, because in the event that we were go visit the jail here in DC, do you think you guys would be called again for any reason? Not without doing anything wrong, just visiting.
That'll be DC.
That'd be DC.
So weird.
DC, please.
Which DC,
please?
DC Metro. DC Metro, so take your chances.
So is it ever confusing on who deals with what, or you all know exactly?
Yeah, we know.
Cool.
Did you not pay some tickets, or what's
Oh boy, what's going on, Mike? Why didn't you tell us? I thought it was full disclosure amongst our family of patriots.
Normally is.
Yeah, what did you really do? He was probably parked in front of a strip club.
Missouri.
I'm kidding. That's terrible. Did you? I have a toll thing on my. I ran through. They told us we get free tolls, and I know I got a toll ticket.
Well, it's just the policy is one of these things. This place attracts a lot of attention, and we try to handle things in a standardized way every time, so nobody comes away with a raw feeling, whatever.
Totally get that.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
And
It's.
I would just advise him to answer the question. That's all you have to do.
well,
You guys.
they are trained not to get too much in the weeds on this. If there's anything that involves like a policy issue where there might need to be an enforcement decision or anything like that, just call us.
You know, I can tell you, this guy right here, he needs sensitivity training, because he woke me up today with a little excerpt from Trump, and he knows I don't like Trump, and he woke me up, and then he just walks away, and I'm like, wow, Tony, that yellow-faced, you know, and I just, orange, I get my colors wrong, misogynist, you know, I'm like, yeah.
Nice
But we get along, you know. You know, and I kind of like, I keep saying I'm the liberal guy in the bunch, but like, he was like, play that song, and I'm like, I was raised in California, so I have a certain kind of programming, and I have a certain kind of like, with nationalism, I'm like that. But when I saw him, like, you know, like shaking hands with the veterans, and it did like touch my heart a lot, like, because those veterans cared about that song, you know? So it doesn't matter if I'm like triggered by something when I see other people and they're, you know, getting loved on and they're feeling like inspired and they're feeling like affirmed. I'm like, play it, you know?
He's triggered by everything. Don't worry.
I'm a snowflake, so. People of DC, we come bringing you a message of love and hope. Right now is the time, right now is the day where we come out of a state of fear. We embrace the idea that all information coming through the media is not necessarily truth. It is not necessarily without its bias. It is not necessarily without its influence. And to think freely, we must have the courage to accept realities that may make us uncomfortable. Today, we have been told that if we do not accept a pharmaceutical procedure, we may not have a job. This is not the country. This is not a country which is telling its citizens, you have the obligation to question your corporations. You have the obligation to question your government. When there are forced procedures through the coercion of the loss of income, you are not free. The mandates are not democratic. The mandates are not legal. You must stand for your right over your body, over your choice. I want everyone to know that there are sympathies. We have sympathies for you. Many of us who have chosen to stand out from the fray, who have thrown ourselves like sore thumbs upon this nation, have been villainized, we have been treated with contempt, and we have been silenced. We are there.
You're next.
When one group is silenced, all groups will someday be silenced. The narrowing of the public forum is happening. Do not be afraid of information, and do not be afraid to speak truth. Do not be afraid to question. Do not be afraid to question. This nation was built on the backbones of those who love and cherish freedom. The freedom of speech, the freedom of assembly, the freedom to question, the freedom to not bend under the influence of lies. If you are compelled to take a medical procedure without having the freedom to choose, with having a consequence bent on your compliance, the consequence of losing a job, losing an income, losing the ability to feed your family, then you are being controlled by definition. This is logic. This isn't this is an idea that's hard to grasp. It's logic. If I am being compelled for a medical procedure, then I should have the right at least to seek compensation, and many don't know that we do not have that right. It has been written into the law, but we cannot sue for injury. We have an opportunity now to stand up. We have an opportunity to think free. We are government of the people and for the people. This government is a body that exists as the appendages of us. Our government works for us.